The world of cinema has lost one of its greatest treasures, with the passing of Diane Keaton at the age of 79. Known for her distinct voice, unique fashion sense, and an ability to portray both comedic and dramatic roles with unparalleled grace, Keaton's death has left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry. Among those deeply affected by her passing is her longtime friend and co-star, Steve Martin. Together, they created some of Hollywood's most iconic films, notably the Father of the Bride series, and their friendship was as legendary as their on-screen chemistry. As Martin remembers Keaton, he not only honors a colleague but also reflects on a dear friend who impacted his life in ways that went beyond the screen. Steve Martin, an iconic figure in his own right, found in Diane Keaton, a friend and a colleague, with whom he shared some of his most cherished moments in the industry. When the news broke of Keaton's death, Martin was one of the first stars to pay tribute to her. His fond memories and heartfelt words reflected not only their professional relationship, but the unique bond they had forged through years of collaboration and friendship. Martin's tribute was filled with humor, nostalgia, and the deep affection that defined their relationship. Martin took to social media to share a touching remembrance. In his post, he included a playful excerpt from a joint interview they had done with fellow actor Martin Short, which had been published in Interview magazine in 2021. The exchange went as follows. "Who's sexier, me or Steve Martin?" Short asked, jokingly. "I mean, you're both idiots," Keaton replied, with her signature wit. Martin shared this humorous moment in his tribute, noting, "Don't know who first posted this, but it sums up our delightful relationship with Diane. It was a perfect example of the playful, yet affectionate bond they had shared for decades." In the world of Hollywood, where personalities often clash, the relationship between Martin and Keaton was a refreshing and heartwarming example of true camaraderie. Steve Martin's tribute to Keaton was not just about their on-screen chemistry, but about the genuine friendship they had developed off-camera. For Martin, the loss of Keaton was a deeply personal one. Their time working together on films like Father of the Bride and Father of the Bride 2 was more than just a professional relationship. It was a collaboration that brought joy, humor, and a sense of mutual respect that lasted long after the films wrapped. The cinematic partnership between Steve Martin and Diane Keaton remains one of the most beloved pairings in Hollywood history. Their roles in Father of the Bride and its sequel, Father of the Bride 2, solidified them as one of the most iconic on-screen couples of the 1,990 seconds. The chemistry they shared in these films was undeniable, with Keaton playing Nina Banks, the loving wife and mother, and Martin portraying George Banks, the devoted but often exasperated father. The films explored the emotional and comedic complexities of a father dealing with his daughter's wedding and the subsequent life changes that come with it. Keaton and Martin brought these characters to life in a way that felt both relatable and hilarious, making the films an enduring part of many families' movie collections. For Martin, working with Keaton was an experience he often described as enjoyable and fulfilling. The two shared a natural rapport that translated seamlessly into their performances. In the films, Keaton's portrayal of Nina was both loving and humorous, a perfect complement to Martin's portrayal of the overprotective father. Together, they created a dynamic that resonated with audiences, making their partnership one of the most memorable in Hollywood comedy. The success of Father of the Bride and Father of the Bride 2 was not just due to the script or direction. It was the way Martin and Keaton brought their characters to life with warmth and wit. Their performances were heartfelt and genuine, adding a layer of depth to the comedy that made the films more than just lighthearted entertainment. In their portrayal of a couple navigating the ups and downs of family life, Martin and Keaton demonstrated the complexities of marriage, parenthood, and growing older, with a refreshing honesty that touched the hearts of many. Beyond these two films, the duo's collaboration extended to other projects, including their work in the Pink Panther series. Each time they worked together, their professional bond grew stronger and their off-screen friendship deepened. Martin once described working with Keaton as a true pleasure, citing her intelligence, wit, and the way she could make any moment on set feel special. Their shared humor and mutual respect for one another made working together an experience they both cherished. While their professional collaboration was the most public aspect of their relationship, the friendship that developed between Steve Martin and Diane Keaton went far beyond the confines of the movie set. In interviews and personal tributes, Martin has often spoken about how Keaton's influence extended into his personal life. Keaton was not just a co-star to Martin, she was a true friend, someone who offered support, laughter, and wisdom when needed most. Steve Martin has said that one of the things he admired most about Keaton was her authenticity. She was someone who did not try to fit into any mold or meet any expectations. She was unapologetically herself, and it was this quality that endeared her to everyone she met. For Martin, this was a lesson he carried with him throughout his career. Their friendship was built on more than just mutual respect for each other's talent. It was also rooted in shared experiences, laughter, and the ability to understand one another on a deeper level. Martin has often described Keaton as someone who was always ready with a joke or a humorous observation, but also someone who could listen and offer thoughtful advice when needed. Their bond was the kind that transcended the often hectic and stressful world of Hollywood, and for Martin, it was a source of comfort and joy. In the wake of her death, Martin's tribute to Keaton was filled with a sense of gratitude. He remembered not only the laughs they shared, but also the moments of genuine connection that marked their long friendship. Diane was a brilliant actress, but more importantly, she was a truly exceptional person, he said. We spent many hours working together, and in every single one of those moments, I felt her warmth and kindness. Diane had this ability to make you feel seen, understood, and loved, something I think most of us will never forget. Diane Keaton's impact on Hollywood extends far beyond her roles in films. She was a transformative figure in the entertainment industry, shaping the careers of many women and redefining how female characters were portrayed on screen. Known for her unique style, both in fashion and acting, Keaton became synonymous with the cultural shifts of the 1,970 seconds and 1,980 seconds. Her iconic look, characterized by oversized glasses, menswear-inspired outfits, and quirky mannerisms, set her apart from other actresses of her time. This distinctive style became emblematic of her character in films like Annie Hall, where her portrayal of the neurotic yet free-spirited Annie was groundbreaking. In Annie Hall, Keaton embodied a character that was quirky, independent, and refreshingly flawed. She represented a new type of heroine for women, one who was not bound by traditional standards of beauty or behavior. This portrayal resonated deeply with audiences, particularly women, who found in Annie Hall a relatable figure that defied conventional norms. Keaton's style and performances were not just a personal trademark. They became part of the cultural fabric of the era. Her influence on fashion was undeniable, as her androgynous look of oversized blazers, ties, and hats inspired a wave of fashion that embraced individuality and comfort over traditional femininity. It wasn't just her wardrobe, though it was the character she portrayed in Annie Hall that redefined how women could be portrayed in film. No longer confined to the roles of mere love interests or side characters, Keaton's Annie was a fully realized woman with her own flaws, ambitions, and complexities. She helped to pave the way for other actresses to play roles that were multidimensional, exploring the full range of human emotion and experience. Keaton was not just a trailblazer in fashion, but a pioneer in how women were represented in Hollywood. Her characters were often vulnerable, quirky, and deeply flawed qualities that made her roles so relatable and beloved by audiences. In films like The Godfather, Something's Gotta Give, and Marvin's Room, Keaton played women who defied stereotypes and conveyed the full complexity of the human experience. She portrayed women who weren't just defined by their relationships with men, but who had their own stories, struggles, and identities. What set Keaton apart was her dedication to authenticity. She refused to conform to the often narrow expectations Hollywood placed on women, embracing roles that were unconventional and complex. Whether it was comedy or drama, she brought a rawness and vulnerability to her characters that made them feel real. Her versatility as an actress allowed her to seamlessly transition between roles that made audiences laugh and those that made them cry, often within the same film. Her ability to navigate this balance with such ease is a testament to her immense talent and her refusal to be pigeonholed. Diane Keaton's career and legacy are a celebration of individuality, authenticity, and a powerful, groundbreaking representation of women in film. Diane Keaton was also one of the women who helped change the way Hollywood viewed female roles. In an era when women in film were often relegated to stereotypical roles, Keaton carved out a space for herself as an actress who could embody a wide array of characters, intellectuals, lovers, daughters, and mothers. Her performances were never confined to one type or genre, and it was this versatility that made her one of the most beloved actresses in Hollywood history. Keaton defied the conventions of her time by embracing roles that showcased the complexities of women, moving beyond the typical romantic or supporting parts that often defined female characters. Keaton's ability to balance humor with depth allowed her to break away from traditional romantic comedy roles and tackle more serious and complex characters. She was able to bring a unique blend of vulnerability and strength to her performances, portraying women who were not simply love interests or sidekicks, but fully realized individuals with their own desires, flaws, and dreams. In films like The Godfather, she brought a sense of dignity and resilience to the character of Kay Adams, a woman navigating the complexities of marriage and family life in a world defined by crime and secrecy. Keaton's portrayal of Kay was marked by a quiet strength, showing how she contended with moral dilemmas while still maintaining her personal integrity. Her roles in movies like The Godfather and Annie Hall revolutionized how women were portrayed on screen. Keaton's characters were relatable, real, and multidimensional, breaking the mold of traditional female roles. She brought a refreshing authenticity to the screen, making her characters feel alive and human with all their imperfections. Keaton became a trailblazer for women in Hollywood, helping to pave the way for future generations of actresses who would follow in her footsteps. Her legacy is a testament to the power of diverse, complex female characters and the significant impact they can have on shaping culture. In remembering Diane Keaton, Steve Martin also reflects on the broader loss the world has experienced. As someone who worked with her for so many years, Martin knows just how special Keaton was, not just as an actress, but as a person. His tribute speaks to the uniqueness of their relationship and the sense of loss that comes with the passing of someone so truly exceptional. "There will never be another like her," Martin said. "Diane was one of the greatest. I will miss her forever." These words, simple yet profound, encapsulate the essence of Diane Keaton's impact, not just as a Hollywood legend, but as a beloved friend and mentor to many in the industry. As the world bids farewell to Diane Keaton, it is clear that she will be remembered not just for her work, but for the unique magic she brought into the lives of everyone who had the privilege of knowing her. Her contributions to film, her advocacy for animals, and her impact on those around her will continue to resonate for generations. Diane Keaton was, and will always be, a cinematic legend whose spirit lives on through the characters she played, the roles she inspired, and the lives she touched. As Steve Martin so eloquently put it, Diane was one of the greatest. There will never be another like her, and indeed, there never will be.